Hey, I'm Ian. If you're here to figure out if you have chronic pelvic pain syndrome, you've come to the right place. I had it, and it took me over a year to beat. So today, I'm gonna quickly go over every symptom I had when I had CPPS, as well as other symptoms that a lot of men have but I did not have, and some really unusual symptoms that may be related to chronic pelvic pain syndrome. Then, I'm gonna recap how you can be sure that you have chronic pelvic pain syndrome and not something else. And finally, I'm going to talk about the order in which my symptoms went away. So for this video, I'm not going to depict my symptoms. I thought about doing an interpretive dance for the symptoms, but that wasn't going to work out, so we're just going to use these little text animations. That should be good. And without further ado, here's how my progression of symptoms started. So at first, I thought I'd pulled a groin muscle. I couldn't figure out how, because I had not been doing any heavy lifts. So I started rehabilitating that with ice, walking, rest, and it did not get better. So the next thing I had was called epididymal hypertension. You probably don't know what that is. I didn't until 3 days ago. The rest of us just refer to it as blue balls. So I switched to supportive underwear and I thought that would help. It did a little bit, but the pain was still immense. So I got busy with my wife, hoping that would clear up the problem. It did not. Instead, when we were done, I felt a burning sensation that was fairly epic. So at that point, I was worried I'd caught an STD, not because I'd been cavorting in bars, but I couldn't explain what else could have happened. Then I started peeing a lot, probably 20 to 25 times per day. My bladder felt inflamed all the time. I had to plan my meetings at work around when I'd get to go pee. And I had to wake up several times at night to go pee. The next symptom was pain in the back door. Gross. So that was kind of constant, like this constant throbbing. But then if I'd ever try to run, have you ever seen Aliens? That scene where the alien, the xenomorph, pops out of the dude and he's just screaming and bleeding everywhere? That's how it felt when I would try to run. I just couldn't do it. I would just fall over in pain. And the last thing for me is I couldn't sit on the floor. In general, I just couldn't, the pain would become overwhelming. So I'd have to sit on a chair and sometimes with a cushion. Now, there are other symptoms that other guys have that I did not. These include pain throughout the penis, often up to the tip. Hard flaccid, which is another way of saying you can't get an erection. An absence of libido. Tight muscles and stiffness in general, especially in your lower back. Pain when walking. And discoloration of your man parts, often bright red. Now here are a few more symptoms that seem to be related, but they're not on the official list. Depression, not directly caused by CPPS, but certainly not helped along by it. Irritable bowel syndrome, or IBS. Now there's more than one cause of IBS, so you may have to rule that out. It may be your diet, it may be an allergy, something like that. And there are probably others that I haven't included, but what I've given you should help you figure out whether or not you've got chronic pelvic pain syndrome. So next thing, the way to be sure you have chronic pelvic pain syndrome is to observe when your symptoms are worst. If they're awful when you're coming off a 10 or 12 hour workday, or you just found out that your house has carpenter ants, that's a big tell. Conversely, if you take a weekend off and go ride around on a jet ski with your best bud and the symptoms let up, that's also a tell. The correlation is stress. Are your symptoms at their worst when you're feeling worry, anxiety, or tension? If so, odds are you have CPPS. All right, now on to how things got better. When I started treatment, the first thing to let up was peeing all the time. At that point, all I was doing was stretching. Next, the epididymal hypertension, that's that blue balls feeling, went away, although slowly. When I went to PT and got internal massage, the pain after sex started going away. But after all that, I'd still have pain, and I definitely could not sit on the floor or run. I really could not run. So I didn't get rid of that problem until I began consciously changing my thoughts away from always worrying. Then within 2 or 3 weeks, I could run again. And finally, my mobility came back and my pain went away completely. Now I'm going to qualify this and say I do get a twinge of pain every now and then, especially if I'm sitting a lot. But 98% cured is way better. So did I miss anything? Let me know in the comments. Or fire away with questions and I'll do my best to answer them. If you want to support my family, check out the ebook. You can find ways to get it in the description. But if you're not ready for that, you can find my entire self-treatment strategy free at curecpps.com. Thanks for watching, guys. Keep your knuckles up. You will beat this.